The shuttle was built in Houston. The astronauts live in Houston, and a community has mourned. That's why the message is clear: bring the shuttle home.
Yesterday, I did an interview with the New York Times, and it was an interesting conversation because New York is one of the locations that's trying to receive one of the shuttles. And he asked me, he said, this has really become competitive, hasn't it? And I said, well, it doesn't need to be. Logically, it needs to come to Houston. And so he was talking about the millions of people in New York. I told him New York's a great place, but they don't have astronauts. They don't have mission control. This is where the shuttle belongs. This is its home.
Whereas Houston was selected as the site of the Manned Spacecraft Center in 1961 and has served as the home of our nation's astronauts, flight directors, flight controllers, and space exploration workforce for 4 decades. And whereas the Manned Spacecraft Center, now known as the Lyndon B. Johnson Space Center, is one of the crown jewels of our community, advancing America's space exploration program and leading all manned space programs from the early days of Mercury to today's Space Shuttle and the International Space Station and beyond. And whereas Johnson Space Center is indelibly linked to Houston's identity and the inspiration for our Space City nickname, the names of our sports teams, and so much more. Whereas Houston was the first word heard from the moon in 1969 and has continued to be heard repeatedly around the world during communications between mission control and every manned spaceflight since then, and then including all 132 space shuttle missions. And whereas Houston is an obvious location for one of the retiring orbiters because the space shuttle was designed here, and because of Space Center Houston, where more than 11 million visitors have passed through the doors since opening in 1992, and where the space shuttle will reside in retirement. And whereas Houston is not only deserving of a retiring orbiter, but also be so proud to hear the following words one last time, quote, "Roger Houston, it's good to be home." Therefore, on behalf of Mayor Anise Parker and the City of Houston, we hereby proclaim April 6, 2011 as Bring the Shuttle Home Day in Houston, Texas.